Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a man who is staying here in South Africa. I used to stay in Soshanguve, but after that was when I spoke with one of my cousin brothers. He then said, if you want to work, you can come to this province where I am staying. So I ended up leaving that province, and then I started staying in the province where my cousin brother was staying as well. And then I started working, but I used to be someone who used to rob other people. I would rob your items like your phones, anything that could help me to get quick money. Even if I would be walking in the street, if I would see that at a certain house, the door has been left open, I would quickly get into the yard and quickly look around. I would grab a microwave, a TV, anything that I could go and quickly sell so that I can just make some money. Now the problem is that whenever I tell someone this story, since I am someone who smokes weed, people think that maybe the thing that happened on that night when I saw a ghost of this other woman, they say that maybe it was just some hallucinations since I was drunk. I am a man who normally drinks Black Label, but on that night I drank milk stout and I was mixing it by smoking weed. So people say that when you do that, you can start to have hallucinations. But I know what I saw, and in the place where I woke up in, it didn't even make sense for me to wake up in Randburg, yet I had gone to sleep with this woman that I had met in the middle of the night, and she invited me to her room, and then I woke up sleeping on top of a grave. Back in those days when I arrived in South Africa, I can say that I fell into the wrong hands because my friend who had invited me to South Africa, he was already a hardened criminal, and I used to think that I was also untouchable. I was just the same guy who was trying to survive the streets in Soshanguve. I did not have a job, no documents, nothing, no family as such to lean on. As for my friends, whenever they would see me trying to go and market for a proper job, then they will say, well, you need to find your own room, because as you can see, we do go to work and our job is to rob other people. And as for you, you want to wait until you have found a job so that you can start to contribute to buy food, to pay rent. Then it is not going to happen, because all of us, we want to survive. So if you want to look for a job, then look for another place where you can stay alone. So I was forced into the criminal world because I was desperate. So what we used to do, me and my friends, was that each and every Friday night, especially whenever it was payday, this meant that it would be easy for us to pick up on our victims, those that will just come straight from work with their money in their pockets. Then they would go to the taverns, and then we would be roaming the streets near the taverns, hidden in the dark, looking for men that were drunk after they would have drank their alcohol on their way returning back to their homes. I knew where they kept their phones, their wallets, sometimes even a full month's salary. You could even find someone with a full month's salary going straight to the tavern, and on his way back, then you would rob that person. Sometimes the money, it would be in the socks, even in the underwear. And we used to do this very fast and quiet, rob that guy without him even noticing that he's being robbed. And we used to carry knives, and we were not even scared to stab a person if they tried to fight with us. I was told that it was not violence as such, but we were just men that were desperate and we were in need of money. And then it was one Friday that really changed my life. It was late at night, somewhere around past 1 a.m. I had just left this other tavern, which I'll call just Tea Tavern. It was in a place called Block H there by Soshanguve, And that night it was very rough and we could not get anything good because the police, they started patrolling that area from 6 p.m. So it was very impossible to rob anyone on that night. And most of the people, they were moving in groups, and you cannot just attack people that are walking. Maybe it's 4 or 5 of them, they will fight back. Even if we would try to follow someone that was heavily drunk, by the time that you would catch up with him, then a police van will just appear out of nowhere. I was just back walking towards this other place, an informal settlement near Block GG, where one of my friend was staying. So I just wanted to go there and to crash at his place, and then tomorrow make another plan. That was when I saw the woman. She was standing alone. She was at the edge of the road near this other fence of this house. She was wearing a very beautiful red dress, and she had a good body structure, and I could not understand because she was so beautiful. The makeup as well was very beautiful. She had gold bangles as well as beautiful necklaces, and I went towards the place where she was standing. What shocked me was that when I approached her, she was so calm. Late at night in Soshanguve, one cannot be calm like that when you have been approached by a stranger. But this woman, she did not move. She did not do anything. When she kept on looking at me, feeling so calm, even smiling at me, my instinct said that there was something that was off about this woman. I wanted to leave here because when I approached her, I said, "Ceci, are you okay?" She turned around and she looked at me, and she even asked me the same question when I said, "Who are you waiting for? Can I help you?" And she was like, "Maybe I am the one who can help you." So we started talking together, and she told me that she was waiting for someone, but if you want, we can go together. And I knew what she meant. She was selling her body. She asked me if I had money, but I did not even have any money at all. And then I lied to her that I had 50 rand. She said, 50 rand, so you have? And I said yes, but it was a lie. My plan was that she will take me to her place, and I was going to sleep with her with the promise of me giving her the 50 rand afterwards. But I was not going to give her the money. I was going to get up and run away. At least I would have slept with her. That was the plan that I had for this woman. So we started walking. We were touching each other. It was really nice. She finally invited me into her home. When we got there, Brother Nashi, even though I knew that at the place where we were, there was no backroom shack, but I just said maybe it was because I was drunk. So we arrived at that house. It was a small shack, no electricity, and what even surprised me, she did not have a door at her shack, but rather there was a curtain for a door. In Soshanguve, there is no one who can have a curtain for a door. And when we got in there, I saw that there was a mattress in the middle of that shack and nothing else. And then she said, "Let us sleep." She started removing her clothes. She was very beautiful. And then we got into bed. We slept together. And after we had slept together, I fell fast asleep and I forgot about that plan. The plan that I had of me wanting to sleep with her and running away afterwards. When I woke up the next morning, I looked and I saw other graves. I did not recognize those graves as normal graves. In our country, when you are planting sweet potatoes, you make these beds. So I thought that maybe those were the beds for the sweet potatoes. Only after that, when I felt cold, that was when I realized that those were not sweet potatoes, but rather they were graves, and I was sleeping on top of a grave, and it was so cold. And I was wet with the morning dew, for it was covering my clothes. Things went fast from there when I realized that I was on top of a grave, and the tombstone, it was so cold. I looked and I read the name. It was Noctula D, 1994-2022. And that was the age that she had told me the previous night. I felt so scared. I screamed like a madman. Then I started running when I realized that I was in a cemetery. It was in West Park Cemetery in Randburg. tell me, how did I end up being in Randburg when I had met this woman in Sosha? It meant that me and this woman, we walked for 90 k's from 1 a.m. until the time when I woke up. I ran and I was going mad by that time. I had no phone, no money. Till this day, I don't even know what happened to my phone. No friends in Joburg. And I kept on running until I had reached the main road. And when I had reached the main road, that was when I stopped panicking and I had accepted what had happened to me. I had slept with a ghost and I started walking. I tried to have people stop for me so that I can hitchhike, but people were not stopping at all, and I did not even have money. Whenever I would see metro cops, I would hide because I did not even have a passport. Then I went to this other engine garage and I was begging for coins from people because I just wanted to catch a taxi to Sosha. I tried telling some people at that engine garage that this is what had happened. When I told them my story, they thought that I was a madman. I was a Nyaupe boy who was just taking chances on them. Since they refused to assist me, thinking that I just wanted money to buy drugs, that was when I said, since I am really tired, let me go and sleep under a bridge. I slept under a bridge that night, and when I finally got back to Soshanguve, it was the next afternoon. I went straight to the spot where I had met her, and to my surprise, even when I went to that house, as I was retracing the steps that we had taken from the place when I had met that woman, I found out that at the place, indeed, just like what I had suspected, there was no backroom shack. I went there and I asked them about this other woman who was renting at their house, and they said, no, we don't even know about that woman. Ever since that night, things were never the same. I stopped robbing people. I started looking for a job and I stopped drinking at that time. But now I am drinking alcohol again. So in Sosha, there was this other man who had a construction company. He was from Zim. I went there and he was scared. He did not want to hire me because he knew that I was a thief. But I explained my situation to him that I did not want to rob people anymore. I just wanted to work, and I told him my story. He did not want to believe me. Only after I had taken him to West Park Cemetery, I said, if you have fuel in your car, we can go like now and show you the grave where I slept on. And we went there, and that was when he started to believe my story. I started to work for that man until I spoke with my cousin, and then I came to the province where I am currently staying. But that is what happened to me. I slept with a ghost. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brother right there. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Let us try to speak with him in the comment section. Have you ever seen a ghost or heard a ghost story? If so, you can come with that story to my inbox and then I will read it here on our platform. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.